everybody, to the next interview in our interview series. I have got Rico here with us today, who's one of our awesome young Republicans in the Spokane County Republican Party. Enrique, thanks for joining us today. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, MJ. Thanks for having me.
You bet. So this is basically to help people understand a little bit more about you and, what the young Republicans are doing in Spokane County. So, Enrique, let's start out with just telling everybody a little bit about yourself and your background, and then maybe why you got involved with the young Republicans in Spokane County.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm a pretty much a lifelong resident of Spokane. I lived here most of my life, moved around for a little bit when I was younger, but I absolutely love the city and I love the state of Washington and the Pacific Northwest. It is so beautiful up here. There's nothing like it. It's truly special. Um, Graduated from North Central High School in 2018, decided not to go to college. I went to trade school instead. So I've been a dirt worker, excavation pipe layer for the last 5+ years now. I enjoy it. I like working with my hands, and I don't know, there's something different about that lifestyle. I really enjoy working out in the sun all day, and every day is different, right? It's not so repetitive. So I love that. I'm just recently getting involved in politics. I always knew that the country was kind of heading down a path that I didn't necessarily agree with. And I kind of see a lot of issues with our current political system right now and the politicians that we elect. But relatively new to the whole system. The Spokane County Young Republicans just got chartered about 4 or 5 months ago now. So we're a relatively new chapter here in Washington. What made me want to get so involved is I went to a county caucus back last January, and there wasn't many people there. I was excited to go. I was jittery. Never went to an event like that before, and I was a little disappointed to see how little people were there. So I knew right then and there that a lot more citizens need to get involved. I truly feel that in a representative republic that we have to do a lot to not only know who the candidates are and know their records, but we need to get involved and hold them accountable, make sure that they understand that the people are watching them. And if we don't agree with how they're operating, then we won't vote for them the next election cycle. And I feel like that really has, it would have a huge effect.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right on, and that's something that we've been working on, in the Spokane County Republican Party as well. Is it's not enough just to get our electeds elected or our candidates elected. We also have to pay attention to their voting record and hold them accountable, have those tough discussions sometimes when they don't vote the way we would like them to vote, right? Or maybe even how they said they were going to vote. And have those conversations. It's obviously very complex, but we need to have follow up. So tell us a little bit more, Enrique, about the young Republicans. Like, since you've gotten involved. Oh, first, I wanted to ask you before we moved on to the caucus, how many people were at your precinct caucus?
Oh man, I want to say it was a maximum of about 40 to 50 people. It wasn't many at all, and there wasn't many youthful people there either. I counted maybe about 2 or 3 people my age.
Two or three
So
people about out of 40, and that was
yeah,
probably like maybe like a joint. That was probably a few different precincts together, right? That wasn't just
yeah,
one precinct. Yeah.
yeah. It was a collection of several precincts.
Yeah. Yep. That kind of happened across the board. That's our and that's what led to the state convention, right? Is it started at the precinct level at these precinct caucuses. So tell us about like the structure of young Republicans. What ages are the young Republicans about, or just tell us a little bit more about the organization.
Yeah. So to be eligible to join the Young Republicans, you need to be from 18 to 40 years old, and then you need to be a registered Republican, obviously. Um, Other than that, if you're from 18 to 40, you can join us. And what we do is we try to volunteer a lot and help out a lot of campaigns. A lot of candidates who want to join in a race will ask if there's any young Republicans that could be deputy campaign manager, even campaign manager, or just a volunteer So the young Republicans lay a lot of the groundwork for a lot of these campaigns you see, and our volunteering is extremely valued and it's extremely appreciated, and it's very important.
Yeah, for sure. So what kind of experience have you had since joining the Young Republicans? Just yourself?
It's been a good experience. It's a collection of a lot of young, energetic, like-minded people, which is amazing to me. It's hard for me to connect with people that have similar values. So to kind of find a core family has been awesome. Um, I've been volunteering for Mike Kelly's campaign. He's running for the state senate of the fourth district. So that's kind of been my first volunteering campaign experience, and it's been awesome. It's a lot of fun. I like connecting with people. A lot of people don't really know anything about who's running until they get their ballot and their voter pamphlet with just a short paragraph. A lot of people don't know these guys, so it's been great to spread the word of who Mike is and why he's a better candidate in my opinion.
Yeah, so you've been out like doorbelling and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I've been mostly doorbelling. It's kind of been a conflict with my work schedule because I work so much and I'm out of town a lot. So I'll come back and help when I can on the weekends.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's awesome. What other kind of things do the Young Republicans hope to accomplish through your efforts, through all of everybody's efforts?
Um, we strive to get people elected into office. If we volunteer for a campaign and put in a lot of work and they get into office, it's very rewarding. Um, Also, I want the young Republicans to help in the community and be visible by everyone who's not just um, Republicans, but average citizens who see the work we're doing in the community and are kind of taken aback, like, wow, those are a special group of guys right there, special group of guys and girls.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, and it sounds like you might have political aspirations yourself, maybe someday in the future. Am I
I
hearing
don't
it
know about
correctly?
that. I haven't put too much thought into it. I'm sure there's a lot more qualified and smarter people than me, but hey, who knows? Anything can happen. If I feel like I truly need to, I would.
Yeah. Well, and there's nothing like getting involved like you are to really learn it and understand it and see it, for yourself. And we need young people like you, Enrique, and others that are involved because we need your fresh perspectives. You know how to relate to your generation way better than a 50 something year old like me. I mean, my kids are, a few years older than you, and so we need those people involved to help communicate. You guys all know how to communicate on a different level than we do to your generation. So it's so important. What is your take right now on the political state of things? I mean, we've had a pretty
Yeah.
fascinating week this week, right? With the attempted assassination on Donald Trump's life, the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee, and just lots going on with our state. We've got really important state races this year, local races, as you've mentioned. Share a little bit just about some of your thoughts.
Yeah, well, in my opinion, the temperature of the political state of America right now is boiling. It's really hot. It's really disgusting and shameful to see an attempted assassination attempt on a former president, and have some people celebrate it. Some people are frustrated that the shooter missed, and I think that's extremely disgusting. It should unify Americans to stop this kind of political hate and division. So I don't know. A lot of people are really upset with each other right now. A lot of people could know absolutely nothing about me, know nothing about the person I am, but hate me because they know I have conservative values,
Hmm.
right? So it's a disaster right now. I think a lot of our elected officials are not fulfilling their job to the best duties. I think we as Americans and especially Washingtonians are taxed extensively, and we don't see a lot of benefit from it. We pay a lot in gas taxes, toll taxes. The roads are disasters. We pay a lot in property taxes for schools. A lot of students are failing classes right now. So there's a whole lot of issues that we need to work on. I think the American public is kind of distracted by these sort of feel good. I feel like a lot of the public is distracted by like equality and fairness. And I believe that everyone is equal and everyone should be treated justly and fairly. But at the same time, I think there's a lot of things that we need to focus on that is affecting everybody's life. Doesn't matter what side of the political spectrum you are, or what race you are, what ethnicity you are, or what religion you are. We're all in the same boat here. We're all being affected the same by these high taxes and high food prices. And it's kind of starting to choke the American public. A lot of people are barely making ends meet, living paycheck to paycheck. It's a disaster right now, and it's very sad to see so many people affected by bad policies.
Yeah, and especially your generation, I'm sure, it used to be that, um, you could get a good paying job out of high school and or go to trade school and get a good paying wage and or go to college and same thing, and then be able to purchase, get a home or be able to purchase that. And you talk about taxes, is that one of the biggest concerns that you have as a 20 something, Enrique, are those the policies that are affecting you the hardest? And you feel like your colleagues, your peers that are similar age?
Oh, absolutely. And taxes are essential and necessary for things like critical infrastructure, bridges, roads, railroads, hospitals, schools, things like that. I 100% agree with they need to be funded. But I think a lot of our legislators are taking advantage of us and overtaxing us and misappropriating funds and wasting money. We see it all the time how our states are wasting money and no one holds them accountable. Nobody audits them. I'm not an anti-tax individual per se. I think we're just getting taxed way too much, way more than we can afford, and we're not seeing the value of our dollar. You know what I mean? We'll package up all this money that we earned and then ship it overseas. Um, so
Yeah.
it's a huge deal to me. This country was founded on the idea of taxation, no taxation without representation, and our representatives don't seem to be representing us anymore, and no one seems to be paying attention when they get their ballots. So that's huge.
Yep, I agree with you. And I think a lot of the people that we talk, all across the different age groups feel the same way. So, any other hot issues for you when you're, thinking about who you're considering to vote for?
Um, So obviously taxation is a huge one, and also law and order. It's sad to see that Washington has some of the highest crimes in the country, whether it's property theft or retail theft, or automobile theft, um, and rampant drug use. I live right across the street from a park, and there's people smoking whatever 100 yards away from the playground with children, and cops don't do anything about it. Um, Prosecutors don't prosecute anymore. Judges don't convict. They let people off with really easy sentences. These people aren't learning their lessons. They just go right back out and do the same exact thing. Bad apples need to be rehabilitated. It's plain and simple. We can't continue to go on just expecting people to open their eyes and realize what they're doing is wrong. We need law and order 100%. We need to get back to prosecuting criminals and not just putting them in jail, but helping them succeed in life, right? True rehabilitation, get them back on their feet and on a right path, get people back into homes that are on the streets, but first take care of the drug addiction, which is huge, and the mental health. A lot of people are completely ignoring mental health right now, and it's a huge issue. No one talks about it. Why is no one talking about mental health? I don't know, but that's a huge subject for me.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't seem like that we have the right things in place or the right policies in place to really help solve these issues. There's a lot of money being thrown at these things, but it doesn't seem to be correcting and helping people, like you said, to get rehabilitated and get on a better path for themselves and for the community, right? And
Mhm.
yeah, and I was talking to some of our candidates where we have doubled the budget in our state in the last 10, 12 years. And this is where we're at. So that ties it
Yeah,
all in, right?
yeah,
Here's these policies, and yet here's the taxes that are coming out, and we're all filling it in our pocketbooks and our wallets, and yet we're not seeing results. And especially where we live right next to Idaho. I know you go to Idaho a lot. You can go over to Coeur d'Alene, and it seems like their parks are really nice. They don't have the same things happening in their parks that we do here in Spokane, 30 minutes away, right? It seems kind of night and
Mhm.
day. So we really get to see that contrast.
Oh yeah, absolutely. My friend mentioned something the other day about going to Walmart in Idaho, and they don't check the receipts. They don't have people checking your bags at the door. It's completely trust based. There's some places where you pump your gas and then pay for it, which, is crazy to me now. They actually do what they're supposed to and take care of the lawless actions. Um, so yeah, it's crazy to see the contrast with just, a few hundred miles. Um, Another huge issue for me is also immigration and border security. Obviously, I feel like we know about 20 million people have come into the country illegally since Joe Biden came into office. The border wall, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but was already funded mostly. Um, but it was judges and lawsuits that kept, fighting the Trump administration about erecting this border wall. Um, and now a lot of cities are seeing just how bad the situation is with so many immigrants, and you know what I mean, there's not too many ways to take care of them except for taxing American citizens. I believe immigration is important and essential, but I feel bad for all the people that are waiting in line to come into this country through the proper visas and paperwork and channels that they're supposed to, and they keep getting cut in line by people coming in. You know what I mean? The ones that are gonna do what they should, work, pay taxes, contribute to our society, are the ones getting skipped in line. The ones walking across are the ones getting taken care of at our expense. So that's huge for me as well. And I think it should be for a lot of other people.
Yeah, I was talking to Tony Keepy, who's running in the third legislative district, and he helps people with their medical insurance, um, and he's talking about how elderly are on Social Security fixed income of $1,200 a month, and they have to pay $1,000 a month just to pay for their uh, rental, right? Their home. And yet we've got a lot of people that are coming in here illegally that are getting $2,000 a month from the government. I mean, that just seems wrong, when they're
Yeah.
coming, like you said, through not the proper channels. Yeah, we're hurting our own American citizens and not taking care of them, but kind of giving a free ride for others coming here illegally. And that brings up another question I have for you, Enrique. How do you feel about Biden's policy around paying for student debt? Students that go to college and have a student loan debt. What's your thoughts on that?
Um, I think it's pretty unfair. It's unfair to a lot of people who didn't go to college and decided to just, go to work. Um, I was under the assumption that individuals went to college to get higher paying jobs, right? That's the whole reason a lot of people were sold on this idea that you need college, right? You need college to get, to that six-figure threshold. A lot of people aren't. A lot of people are just getting ripped off and taken advantage of by these, big colleges and universities. And I think it's really unfair to expect the American people to pay for it because they're not paying their student debts. Um, so it's unfair, it's unconstitutional, as the Supreme Court said, and
Hmm.
the fact that Joe Biden brags about doing it anyways should really open a lot of people's eyes to what a true tyrant looks like, right? Someone who ignores checks and balances and pushes his agenda forward regardless. Um, it's a shame.
Yeah. And it doesn't, I might be reading between the lines here a little bit. So please, tell me, clarify for me, but it doesn't seem like you regret the decisions that you made after high school and the path that you took.
Not too much, no. I thought about going back. I got my associate's degree to kind of transfer if I wanted to go to a four-year university, but At the end of the day, I looked at it and I don't know. I don't want to be a doctor. I don't want to be a lawyer. I don't want to be, a nuclear physicist, all those things you need college for. That's not the path I wanted to go down. So at the end of the day, I thought it was the right choice to not go to college, save myself a lot of debt. And, in this information age that we live in, there's so much information online. There's so many people giving out free seminars and things along those lines to educate yourself if you want to. You don't have to just do it confined in a classroom anymore. I think that's one of the special things about the time we live in is just how much information we have access to. Whether you want to tap into it or not, is completely up to you.
Yeah. And what's great about, the path that you've taken, Enrique, in my opinion, is that you can still do that, right? It sounds like you were wise about getting your associate, and so that can transfer on to something more if you need that. But you're a working citizen that is, being responsible and out there making it happen versus taking a welfare check. So I applaud you for that. I think that is the path we'd like to see all of our, young students out of high school taking, is getting to that quicker than what is happening a lot.
Yeah, cool. I appreciate that. Thanks for seeing that. I thought it was a good choice.
Yeah, well, I appreciate, you being responsible and doing what you've done. So, Enrique, tell people, how often do the Young Republicans meet? Do you have any other information maybe you can share with how people can get plugged in or connect with you all?
Yeah, so we've been meeting about once a month or every other month for certain things. We had just had a barbecue last weekend, which is kind of our social event, and the month before that we did volunteering. So we went to a blood bank and donated blood for kind of volunteering community service. So we don't meet crazy often. It's not a huge commitment to your life. If you feel passionate and you're young and you want to learn how to be part of a campaign, learn how to run a campaign, just be more involved with your community. We encourage you to join. Um, I'd say if you're not volunteering on a campaign, it's not a huge commitment. And also, it's not like it's always election season, right? So a lot of the time it would be a lot more laxed, not a huge workload. So
Yep. Yep. Even if I heard you say the other day, even, if you can give an hour or two a week, that makes a difference. And it sounds like too, for you, that one of the benefits is just having like-minded people you can socialize with and not feel like you're, uh, just out because we're conservative thinking. I think a lot of people feel that way, that it's nice to find people we can talk to, and we're not really in the minority, right? We're a silent majority. Just a lot of people are afraid to express their opinions in this age. So any final thoughts for that you'd like to share with everybody today, Enrique?
mm, I suppose, yeah, I want to see unity across my neighborhood, my community, my city, my country. We gotta realize that we're all in the same boat, and we have to start holding our legislators accountable. Um, there's there's a lot on the line right now. A lot of our freedoms are being undermined. A lot of our values are deteriorating. Our society is going down kind of a lawless, irreversible path right now that's going to lead to a lot of the hurt in the future, a lot of hurt financially, or people won't feel safe at their homes anymore, and it's huge. There's a lot going on right now. If you truly love your country and you love freedom and liberty, then I think it's your civic duty to try to get involved in some capacity. I know we all have our own lives. A lot of people have families and children, and that's completely fine. A lot of people serve in the military and do a lot of different ways to serve their country, and that's fine. But I think a lot more people should feel encouraged to get involved, to try to steer this country back on the right track. I think it's hugely important right now. We've passed the fork in the road. You have to understand the direction this country is heading, and it should encourage you to get up and get involved.
Boy, I couldn't agree with you more. I think you said that very well, and we got here because of what we did or didn't do, right? And so the only way for us to change it is to get involved, and we need everybody. We can't do it alone, and everybody's got a part of this puzzle to play. So we encourage you, everyone, to get involved. You can reach out to us at SpokaneGOP.com, and our information is there if you want to get involved with the Spokane Young Republicans. And we can get you connected to Enrique and David Miller, who's the chair of the Young Republicans, and connect you with the information. But reach out to us. Are you guys on social media, Enrique?
Yes. So it should be Spokane County Young Republicans.
Okay, and that's Facebook and
Twitter, X now.
an
Um,
X. Okay,
I'm not sure if we have an Instagram. I'd have to double check, but
okay,
no, we should have an X and getting on a Facebook account. I know there was a little troubles. There was a account with the same name from the past that isn't relevant or even an entity of the Young Republicans anymore. So watch out for that one. I believe we're the Spokane County Young Republicans.
okay. We'll get you connected. So yeah, go to SpokaneGOP.com for now. At least we can help get you connected with them. You can fill out the volunteer form, and we'll get your information over to Enrique and friends. And Enrique, how many people are involved in the Spokane County Young Republicans now?
Oh, I don't know the number off the top of my head. I think there's about maybe 20 to 40 members on the roll, but not too many active members who come to these events we throw. So we're trying to grow. We're trying to go rapidly. I think that's one of the ways we can have the biggest impact is just having numbers.
Yep, numbers help. And again, if you're not involved, if other people aren't involved, we're missing you. So get involved, reach out to us. Enrique, thanks so much for spending some time with us today. I look forward to continuing to watch you and others, and work with you. I've loved working with you. And I just really appreciate the insight that you gave us and the value. There's such value in your truths, and other people that are similar age. Again, I've got a 50-year-old perspective, right? That doesn't always transcend. So it is critical to helping our country be on a better path, that we get young Republicans connected and involved and engaged. So we've got a great group of people doing that. And however we can be partnering to help that, we want to do that. So Enrique, thanks again, and blessings to you. And I know we'll be talking soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, MJ.
All right, take care.